Welcome back, everybody, to the daily show. I'll be breaking down the big mega cap stocks. So, before we get started, please hit that like button, and that is greatly appreciated. And if you're new here, definitely consider subscribing. Now, if you want to support the channel and get all types of daily trade ideas, swing trade ideas like this one that we took last week only on Friday, and fast forward today, it was in the money, over the money. If you want to do this full time, definitely check out my link down in the description for Patreon. And now let's get right into the market. All right, so welcome back once again, guys. Fear and greed index now on neutral 49, but some other places it's actually on greed. We got some data that's coming out, especially tomorrow we have some retail sales, but I don't think I'm really into that kind of stuff. But look at what's coming on Wednesday, guys. This is the one, non-farm payrolls, unemployment rate. And we know that job numbers they were really bad last month, so I would really want to see what these numbers are going into Wednesday's session. And then Friday, of course, Trueflation is saying that inflation coming down because energy came down. But again, guys, these numbers are just fake. Okay, I get it, natural gas and all that came down, but then we got oil going up, right? And then we got a lot of other things going up, especially copper going up. That's inflationary. But they were saying, they did the study and inflation is coming down. So we'll get that inflation data, which could be lower. And I hope I'm, wrong. It's not lower because it's definitely not lower. The numbers are showing things are just falling off the cliff. Now, what market did today, you can see Dow is absolutely flat, hitting another all-time high today after, opening up a little bit in the red and then going back up and hitting all-time high. Nasdaq up nearly 1%, S&P up close to 0.5%, Russell going up 0.70%, advancing 52.6%, declining 43.7%. 11 sectors, basic materials was getting crushed last week. Now you can see it actually led the way today. Technology once again up here on top. So risk on move, energy was there today as well. Communication services, Meta had a nice day, and even Google. Industrials, real estate, utilities, financial, consumer cyclical, and then consumer defensive and healthcare actually took a little bit of beating today, but not by that much. Stock market map. Well, the big name definitely showing up strength now. Microsoft up 3.13%. Nvidia up once again today. It was up, I think, over 3%, gave back some of the gains, but still, up on the day. Broadcom up over 3%. MU down nearly 3%. AMD up today 3.58%. Then we got Google pretty much flat, Meta up 2.40%, Amazon down 0.79%. And this is the one that I played today from 204 up to 210. It was a fantastic day trade. So, like I said, if you're serious, really serious into trading and you want to do this, guys, there is lots of opportunities. I just don't have, too many serious traders that are actually involved in these kind of trades. And that is where money is being made. And I've been, doing this for a long time. So this was a fantastic, a dip early morning that I caught and made money on this one. Apple, we sold those puts and made money on that one too. And Tesla up 1.48%. And you can see consumer defensive, a lot of these names like Costco, Walmart, they're not down. I mean, I would not even call this down because it's been just going up in a straight line for the last couple of days. These names just taking a breather. But industrials names like LMT, Caterpillar, these things hitting brand new all-time high. Cat, I think, gain another all-time high. And you can see energy also going up. So that's not good when you look at inflation. And they were saying that inflation is falling off the cliff because, natural gas and all that was coming down last month. So we'll see how that works out. And I think we need to start talking about Microsoft. So let's get started on Microsoft. On Microsoft, it's up over 3%. So this is why when you see Apple oversold, when you see Microsoft oversold, and especially in my channel, every time these names are oversold, I take my time and I try to talk to my viewers that, hey, this is really a great opportunity. And if you go back and watch my videos from last week, unfortunately, I did not cover these big names over the weekend. But look at the move here, guys. 392 gap full reversal from that gap, earnings gap before. And look at that massive move here on Microsoft now up to almost 415 today. Huge, huge move. Today's dip was 400, and that was it. Now, some people will say, well, this is a dead cat bounce. Yeah, I agree with that. This could be a dead cat bounce, but also keep that in mind. Where Microsoft was very oversold, RSI was 24. And when you see 24 on the RSI on a name like Microsoft, and especially when it comes to Apple, I always talk about it in my video that you're going to get that bounce. And this is exactly what you're getting. That does not mean that upside is limited. We still have a lot more to go. Less downside, more upside. Now let's talk about it. If we come back down, 407 will be key line in the sand here, right here. 5-day moving average. Underneath that, flat 400. If we can stay over that range right here, right about 407, 406, we could see a move towards that gap 422. And possibly once we get over that, we can talk about even more upside on Microsoft. So it's looking great. But again, we're not completely out of the woods yet until we see some more upside on Microsoft. On Apple, stock is down over 1% today. And if you look at my screen, what happened here, guys? Exactly the same thing. And you can actually go and watch. This was a day where I made the video and I said Apple RSI getting down to that 20 to even under 20. You're going to see that bounce. And this is exactly what you're seeing. But also, you guys saw last week on this pop right here, right about 280 some dollars. This is where I spotted Apple, trading, and that's where I took 275 puts. And fast forward, you guys already saw that uh, in my intro, and you can see today at 272 took profit, and it was really nice. That is a $8 move to the downside. I think that is good enough for a swing trade, which I only held overnight. So plenty of trade ideas there. It's just a matter of who wants to trade and who is serious and who wants to make money in the market and who's really not serious and they want to go back and you know start flipping burgers. So this is a great opportunity when you're serious, especially in stock market. And not all your trades gonna pay every day, but if you have money working for you in the stock market, one will be red, one will pay, the next day the other one will pay, then you take another position, that one will pay. Here and there you'll have one or two losses, but overall when you make money in the market, pretty much day in and day out, and you have 10 trades and let's say two or three not paying or even four not paying, and you got six trades that are paying, that's all you need. You need to win more and lose less, and that is the key thing here when it comes to trading and just making this as a full-time job. And a lot of people just make a mess out of it. They would sell the green one immediately, but they keep the one that is actually red 90%, hoping that it's going to come back, but not letting the runners run. So fantastic opportunity was there on Apple. We took it, we made it, and now Apple's down today. And you can see we bounced off of that 272 level after filling that gap and now trading right here, right around that 5-day moving average, which is sitting close to 275. So Apple upside is still there. And if this thing can cross over 277, we could see 280 and even going into all-time highs again. Now, if this thing breaks below 272, we do have support at 268.66, 265, which is going to be a crucial support. And if it comes underneath that, we'll talk about more downside at that point. And we also have that inverse head and shoulder here, which a lot of people can see now. And it pretty much, played out. And we had a nice move up from oversold condition. And now Apple is just taking a breather. On Tesla stock is up 1.51%. So this never goes wrong. You can see Tesla last week, not on Friday, but Thursday, we are trading underneath the Bollinger Band. And what happened? Well, snapbacks happen immediately whenever that takes place. We came all the way down to what was 387, and now we're trading over 400. Well, 417 at this moment. So going into tomorrow's session, the next big level to watch to the upside 429, 432. If we come back, we do have 410 as a support. Underneath that, we could see a flush down to flat 400, and then we can talk about possibly going into that gap right down here. On Meta, it's up 2.38%. So Meta, nice move up. And this one, unfortunately, I actually got in Friday. I added twice into my calls, but it was just a day trade. So at the end of the day, for a little bit of profit, I actually got out because it wasn't, meant for a swing trade. And look at the move. And these were 680 calls that I got last week. Still had time, but because it was a day trade, I got out. And look at the move today. 683 came. So huge, huge move to the upside. And what happened here, you can see a fell breakdown to the downside. We had a look below and fell below the 50-day and the 20-day and the support 664. We reclaimed, recaptured all that, and now back up to where 682, got a rejection there, came back. So Meta here looking really good after filling that gap, the earnings gap. We filled the gap to the upside and to the downside, and now it's time for Meta to move up if this thing can get over 682. So watch out that key level here. If we can get over that, we could be going into 700 plus, in coming next maybe week or two. To the downside, if this thing comes back, 664 is still gonna be your key line in the sand, and these two moving averages right here, which is at 658, and then we can talk about more downside. On Amazon, stock is down 0.76%. So Amazon was fantastic today. You can see low for the day 203.35. I got in at 204, and this thing came back up too. You can see almost going green. It was a really nice trade. Amazon, fantastic, especially right out of the gate in the morning. And then Amazon came back up to 213 almost. We took the profit and got out. And then the stock came back down. But again, where we got in, it's still green and holding up. But Amazon, I'm looking to possibly get back in early as tomorrow if there is a dip like we saw today. But as of right now, holding over 207, that tells me that we could possibly move up a little bit more, maybe up to 215. That's a possibility here on Amazon. But you can see the lower band is coming down. So if this thing breaks below 207, we could be going and retesting 200 again on Amazon stock. On Google, stock is up 0.40%. So Google not really hitting all-time highs. You can see today, rejection came off of that 328, came down and now holding just over 322, 50-day moving average. If that gives up, we could be going down all the way down to 314. And Google, not much to say here, guys. I mean, it's pretty much neutral, I would say, to slightly maybe bearish. If this thing does not recapture 328, we could be going down to 314 and possibly will retest this low down here, 306 from right after earnings. On Nvidia, stock is up 2.50%. So this was the best trade of last week, especially buying Nvidia dips. I mean, this thing, we pretty much caught the dip near the lows, and look at the pump. I mean, this thing did not stop. Even today, it was going all the way up to almost 194 and then gave back some of those gains. But again, even after giving back gains, still up at 190. So 190, a key level to watch going into tomorrow's session. Underneath that, that opens the door for a move down to 184 to 185 to retest these moving averages. Now, if it holds up at 190, earnings coming up in just a matter of a week or two, we could be heading towards that 193 to 196 and possibly into 200s. On AMD, it's up 3.63%. So AMD also showing strength. And you can see, I mean, you can just call this the range. This is the top of the range. This is the bottom. And we came into the bottom of the range. And from there, you can see we did not fill the gap, which is unfortunate. I'm not in AMD. I did not play any AMD here. But I was actually looking into the gap. Maybe it would come down and fill the gap like Meta did. But again, no chance. And now we're back up. And you can see, I mean, that's a pretty strong bounce back to back 2 days on AMD. I mean, that is a huge bounce, $20 plus. So AMD, if this thing holds 212 here, we could see 222, maybe 226. 212 breaks, 202.69. Underneath that, we could see flat 200 to even 192.72 on AMD, and then this gap comes into play. On Broadcom, it's a strong bounce today, 3.31%, almost up to that next big level, which is 356. And today it's closing at 344 almost. So there will be support right here, right about 340, this trend line. If it comes back tomorrow, underneath that 330, 324. If we continue and stay inside this channel, we could be going up to 356 and possibly even higher because we did fill this gap, which was, a gap from last earnings. not last earnings, but the previous earnings, and now that gap is filled, and you can see there's a lot of volume and strength coming in here on Broadcom, which is a big market mover, and it can definitely move even higher if this is just not a dead cat bounce. So Netflix, another down day, 0.89%. So we're seeing a lot of rotation, a lot of stuff happening in the market. The big names going down, coming back up, but no signs of any reversal. Netflix actually came back up today into that trend line. And you can see 82 rejection. So 82 needs to break for this thing to move up to 85, and possibly this downtrend will end at that point. But so far, no signs of that. So, this one, just watch out that low down here, which is around 79 to 80 bucks. If that's taken out, we could be going into like $77, and possibly Netflix should find a bottom right about there. But as of right now, it's on a strong downtrend and no signs of any breakout yet. I'm looking forward to it, guys. This thing gets that breakout, and then we could see more upside on Netflix. A lot of things came down, went back up, even with recent sell-offs, but this thing is still on a strong downtrend. And that's all I have for you guys in this video. Thank you so much for watching.